Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related, please, people. And like I state at the start of every single ManDem United podcast, there's always a lot to discuss with Manchester United, whether we're winning, whether we're drawing, whether we're losing, whether it's just the summer transfer window, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's the Euros. There's always something going on with Manchester United, and it is the Tuesday edition of the show. So my boy Ivorian Spice is in the building. Ivorian, we telling me you good?
We're both dressed in black, so I don't know what to say, bro. You know what time it is today, bro. There's a reason why we're both dressed in black, because obviously it's not good, bro. But in spirit, I'm good, man. I'm humble enough, man. But big up to everyone that's tuning in, Flawless, and big up to you, Flawless, as well, man. How you been, bro?
All blessed, man. Minus Manchester United, I'm all good. You will be that, like minus Manchester United, I'm all good. And minus some of our fans as well, but we'll get on to that. Because like I say, things are bad. Don't get mistaken, but like it's not as bad as some people make out. It's bad.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, it's
100%.
bad. It's bad.
But the sky is not falling. Like we did, like, certain teams out here haven't won a game. You know what I'm saying I've spent $1 billion in the past 18 months. But that's a whole different conversation. Let's bump up the likes, people. Let's bump up the likes first and foremost, whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back. Share across all the socials. And on top of that, subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. Also, make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel, Red United TV, which I will add to the title in a second. But Ivorian, we haven't spoke obviously since. Feels like so much has gone on, and it's legit one game. And it feels like we haven't spoke about so much. That's how much conversation and how much negativity and how much complaining have surrounded Manchester United. So we'll go there. Your thoughts on the game against Tottenham Hotspur, where we lost 2-0.
Boy. You know what? The funny thing, the saying was it's only Tottenham, but so for some reason Tottenham has become a problem these days. Looking at reflecting back on it, because I need to take it. I need to take it in segments, because it was quite a lot. We start for the first 45 minutes, Flawless, where Manchester United, of course, started off in a decent manner. Yeah, I would say a decent manner, because there were opportunities for Manchester United to score goals against Tottenham. There was opportunity where I saw Manchester United regaining possessions as well from Tottenham. Couple of turnovers, decent performances in the first 45 minutes for certain players. I thought at the first 45 minutes, Anthony did okay when it came up for turnovers, recovering the possession as well. Same thing with Wan-Bissaka in that first half as well. And Onana, his distribution was superb. Those were the highlights of the first 45 minutes and the rest of the game. But then we saw so much problems in the second half, even including the first half, especially the fact that there was a VAR decision, which personally, in my opinion, I felt like that was a penalty. I felt like we was robbed there. A couple of days ago against Wolves, people was going crazy about how Wolves should have gotten a penalty, whereas no one's talking about our penalty right now, which I can say my captain, Bruno Fernandes, had the right to say what he had to say, but he moans a lot, so he can shut up too, bro. But yeah, in that second half where Manchester United lost it all, they lost it all, my friend. Like, I don't know where the players' heads are. I know it was unfortunate that it took a deflection, from the cross, and then of course, I didn't even know they had this player called Sarr that scored from that deflection coming off of Martinez, because I think that was probably one of Martinez's worst days, apart from last season, the second game against Brighton or Brentford, where they tried to blame him for everything apart from Maguire, who was the main mistake. But yeah, Martinez is probably one of his worst games he's ever had, where he's been practically involved with both goals that we conceded. But back to the goal we conceded, which I thought was poor defending by the club itself, Manchester United, especially on the side that I keep highlighting, Luke Shaw's side. I keep saying this before, guys. I've had enough of that guy. 10 years, not on the 10 assists in 10 years, and what? Maybe a season full of good performances in that whole 10-year span. I would say it probably accumulates to probably a season. Yeah, I've had enough of Luke Shaw. I keep saying it again, we need a new left back, but no one wants to stick up with me and back me on Luke Shaw.
I'm with you on that. I've wanted a new left back for the longest. We need two new fullbacks in my opinion, and I've said that before. But carry on.
Yeah, coming from his side and obviously deflecting off of Martinez for Sarr to take advantage of. And then that's where Manchester United just fell apart. The performances from certain individuals before we even get to the second goal, where I saw Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, those two midfielders, they were inept, especially Mason Mount himself. And I'm still stressed out the fact that we signed Mason Mount and he was our first signing, and it's still underwhelming.
No, Ivorian. We don't know what we're talking about. Back the manager blindly. He's going to get the most out of Mason Mount. It's Chelsea's fault because everybody fails there. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not being honest right now, Ivorian. That was what the conversation was before we signed him. You know what I'm saying? As we were signing him, as we were making bids. That's what me and you was both told multiple times on this show during the summer. You can go check it out multiple times. Go check out the summer transfer playlist of this show, because the summer transfer window playlist of all the shows on the channel. But obviously, with the season starting, we're back to regular setting. So say ManDem United podcast. Well, say Manchester United show, ManDem United podcast 2023/24. But go on. Carry on. Mount and Bruno don't work. Surprise. Go on.
Surprise. 2 games in a row where Mount and Bruno doesn't work. Bruno himself, as a captain, makes me sick now. In the fact his performance, he doesn't show any leadership anymore. He's not in the right position all the time, 24/7. Mason Mount, I haven't seen anything of Mason Mount, but it's nice to see that out of those 2 players, they like to highlight Casemiro. Like, Casemiro's 31 years old. He can't do it all on his own. He's holding the midfield on his own, whereas his other 2 who are meant to be part of the core and the spine of the team, who are meant to be our best players, to be disciplined in their position, which they lack discipline in their position, going far too forward. I don't know whether it's the instructions of the manager or it's just them instructing themselves and doing what they want to do, because sometimes I feel like it's a bit of both. But them being indisciplined in their position, allowing Casemiro to hold the midfield on his own, where they go full forward and try to beat Tottenham at low blocks, which we have figured out and found out that we can't do that. And one of the reasons why we can't do that is because, again, I keep saying this before, you guys that wanted, Martial to stay and etc. and all that stuff, and having Rashford up front. I've always said this before, Flawless. I've said it so many times. I hate it when Marcus Rashford is up front. That means we're not scoring any goals. There's no hold-up play. No one's winning the air. We're basically playing with 10 men when Marcus Rashford plays up front, because you saw that against Tottenham in the second half. Where was Marcus Rashford in the half? Not making the runs that he's supposed to be making. And I said it before, he's not a striker. He needs to accept the fate that he's a left winger and stick with it. Playing up front is not for everyone. It is not for everyone. Not everyone can be successful at playing up front. And we suffered on that day. And again, one of the reasons why, because we never signed a striker that was meant to be signing at the start of the season. I've always questioned the fact that how are we signing Mason Mount, when we don't know that we needed a striker first. I don't know why we signed Mason Mount and addressing that situation. Well, we've had CR39 who left a long time ago. We had Weghorst. That's what he is, bro. No, bro. He doesn't deserve the credit. He doesn't deserve my respect, fam. I still remember what he did to our club, But yeah, for a good year that we haven't had a proper number 9. We had Weghorst who struggled to score goals. We probably only scored 2 goals. So the first thing you need to do is address the signing of a striker, right? The money that we spent on Mount and the money that we spent on Højlund, whatever his name is, equivalent to how much Bayern Munich, actually more than what Bayern Munich spent for Harry Kane, someone of Harry Kane or an Usherman. So the money was there and we should address that. But back to the game, let's not go too off point. Mount, Bruno, horrible. And then Garnacho as well. Big up to my guy as well. Garnacho is not someone that's supposed to be starting for Manchester United.
Agreed.
He's not supposed to be starting. Those 2 games that we saw him giving the ball away, making the wrong decisions as well. And that was Eddie who said that as well, that he's been sticking with it. And it's the truth. The boy needs to be coming off the bench where he's much more effective.
Agreed.
Coming off the bench against players with tired legs. Anthony, I'm done with this guy, bro. Are you
done with Anthony?
I'm done with Anthony, man. I'm done with it, bro. I'm done with that woman beat us. Him as well. He can't even beat a man, but he can beat a woman, bro.
You can't say all that, fam.
Allegedly. No, allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. Put allegedly in there because we don't know what's going on yet, so we can't put that out there because we don't know yet what the story is. We don't know yet,
but the story has to be circulated for a long time ago.
We gotta wait for evidence first.
Evidence. But listen, no, I'm not have time for this, bro. No. The woman's already said what she had to say, bro.
Yeah, but
Because
we can't put false.
I can
We
look
can't
at man
put.
in the face.
We can't put false allegations on his name without no
False
evidence. We can't
allegation,
do
right?
that.
Allegation at the
No
end of the day.
potential. I'm just saying we can't put allegations on him because there's no
Allegedly,
evidence. Yeah, we can
allegedly,
say allegedly. Yes.
he can beat a woman allegedly, but he can't beat a man on the
But
wing,
go on,
fam.
carry on.
Yeah,
Carry on,
that,
carry
let
on.
me get that right. Let me get that right, bro. Like he can't beat a man on the wing, but allegedly he can do what he does in his personal life. But in my opinion,
We
the
gonna
one of the
find out
reason
about it.
why I'm tired of this Anthony guy is it's the one trick pony. Yes, it's true. The fact that he can't really do much in terms of what he does. It's too repetitive. Cut on your left foot and then try and cut it in. The passing as well in terms of distribution, it's not the best, man. His decision making as well is not the best. It's at the same level that I saw Garnacho on against Wolves. And I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of waiting for a winger to turn up and do things consistently, you know. And
Yeah.
at the same time, we didn't hire a defensive winger who will track back and all that kind of stuff. No, we did not. We did not hire a defensive winger. We hired an offensive winger who can take on the play on the right wing and create a lot of chances as well and score goals. And since then, I haven't seen that, you know. And he's taken on the same form. He's carried on the same form that he's had from the last season, which is frustrating, and carried on to this season. And I thought this would be the season where he's made all those corrections. I might be overreacting right now because it's 2 games into the season, but hey, what I'm seeing right now, I'm not impressed. I'm seeing the same Anthony that I saw last season in this season, and his performance was just horrible. Marcus Rashford should never play up front again. Like I keep saying this, guys, we need a proper striker to be playing up front because we lack a lot in the way we're trying to play our football. They got Aaron Bissaka as well. He done all right. Andre Nana, apart from them, Rafael Varane as well. The only 3 players that stood out. The second goal as well, an own goal. What can you do about that, man? Martinez was just unfortunate that it
Yeah,
had
that's
to
just
be
because
him
Ben
again.
Davies has miskicked it and it's gone
Yeah,
through. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
unfortunate.
But performance rights, going back to the manager as well, because I need to highlight the fact that I'm highlighting the players. I also need to also analyze and assess the manager. The manager made a mistake in terms of his team selection. He never learned from the game against Wolves. Wolves who got packed in by Brighton comfortably,
Agreed.
you know,
Agreed.
a team that we struggled against. He should have never picked that starting 11.
Agreed with that. That's on the
He
manager.
should abandon the Mason Greenwood and Bruno and
Mason Mount, fam.
Casemiro. Oh, sorry. Did I say Mason
Yeah,
Greenwood again?
you said
Sorry.
Greenwood. Yeah,
I got the wrong Mason.
yeah, the wrong Mason. Yeah.
I'm
Go
sorry.
on.
I'm sorry. The Mason Mount, yeah, and Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. And it was so funny that how people were putting pictures of, oh, who's got the best midfield? Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United. And I don't know why they put us in this equation because me and you knew that we got Bruno Square. We've got Bruno Square in the midfield with Casemiro. So I don't know why people were trying to compare our midfield to Man City's midfield, to Liverpool's midfield, Arsenal's midfield, and also Chelsea's midfield. Because actually we can compare ourselves to Chelsea's midfield, but that midfield's whack.
Nah, not now.
Well,
Not the midfield they got on paper.
No, the midfield on paper, but the midfield in real life is whack.
Yeah, it's because they obviously Lavia is missing and Caicedo out there, giving away penalties, but we move. But before we continue, before you go 1 second, there's just under 50 of you lot locked in, only at 19 likes though. Let's get up to 40 likes. Like check 1212. Let's get up to 40 likes, people. Hit that like button. Let's not slack. Share across all the socials and subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV and subscribe to Ivorian's channel as well. The link is in the title, Red United TV. Click the link, opens up a new tab, and you can find his channel and all his socials on there as well. Go on, fam. Carry on.
Yeah, so I know my manager. We know our manager. Big up RSV as well. Our manager is very stubborn, in his ways, and he believes in his principles, and he will die on that sword or die on that hill, regardless of what he does. He'll die on his philosophy, and he'll go out like that. But sometimes you need to assess yourself and see the problems there. The problems was quite evident against Wolves that Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes do not work. You need someone that's a bit more defensive minded, a hybrid as they wanted. People be asking for a hybrid 8 and 10, someone that can be box to box and assist Casemiro in terms of holding the midfield and holding the width and holding the line as well. he should really revise on that, man. He cannot go into the same game against Nottingham Forest and Arsenal with that same mentality and that same thought, because we will get cooked, you know. And again, if the manager wants to consist on that, then that's going to raise my eyebrows towards him. I'm already raising my eyebrows to the fact that when it comes to the football that we're playing, I'm still not seeing the football, the style of play, the philosophy that we're meant to be playing. I'm not seeing it. Is it because we don't have the players? I don't know. Or the fact that we're missing a striker that makes it, puts all of it together and fits that jigsaw, that missing jigsaw, and makes it work. I don't know. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm seeing problems. The wingers are not doing their jobs, you know. The midfielders, and I'm not going to say Casemiro, because I can tell that with Casemiro, he's not as fit as he's meant to be. He's 31. He can't do it all on his own. I know what he can give us. He needs support. But I'm just looking at the two midfielders that are meant to be they're meant to be on job. And that's Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. And they're not on job. And they're the one that's probably holding up the style of play as well, because I was supposed to be playing possession-based football, but Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, they just do direct spam balls, cross there, don't hold up the ball, and etc. And how can you play possession football when you got players like this? You can't keep the ball, for God's sake, man. Yeah. But the manager as well, I will say this now in this stream, and I said it in my previous thing, I'm going to give him till September to rectify and address this problem. Because if he doesn't fix this problem, then you know what? All eyes is on him as well. You know, like, man's a fair man. You know, I give people their time, and then and I assess it, and I will back my manager. But if I'm seeing if my manager is not doing something I don't like, I'm gonna call it out, bro. You know, I'm not here to suck his toes, suck his thumb, pause on all of that kind of stuff. You know, I'm just saying I'm strong pause. I'm just saying I'm not here to lick his ass like people lick previous managers' ass, lick previous favorite players' ass, and so people will still tell you that the manager selected Bruno as the captain, so you know I don't need to defend Bruno. That's defensive enough. That's me defending Bruno enough. That's people's response when you tell them that your guy Bruno's a fraud. Come and defend him. They'll tell you shit like that. Well, your manager made him captain. But yeah, I'm not that type of guy, bro. I don't kiss ass, bro. I spit facts, bro. As soon as I don't like what I'm seeing, I will be honest and tell you, you know what? Yeah, this manager's on forward watch. Yeah. And, you know, I got him till September. And then that's it, bro. If he's not rectified this situation, then, bro, he needs to go. He really needs to go eventually. Or not just needs to go. I think that's a strong statement. He will be assessed until December. Because I know our club, they won't sack him just like that.
Yeah,
it will take some time.
It
will take some more ass whooping.
You know what I'm saying?
It's 2 games, yeah. But the 2 games that we've seen...
Yeah, it's not good, but it's too much.
It's not good.
But now I'm seeing the manager needs to go, players ain't good enough, this, that, and the third. It's kind of like, it's 2 matches. Is it poor? Yes. But all right, say on the flip side, we had battered Wolves 5-0. And we went to Spurs and won 3-0 and looked great. These same fans will be talking about how we can win it all. And we can challenge and we can win. There's very little middle ground. Is it bad? Like I've said before, yes. It's bad. The 2 performances in particular, very, very bad. However, we're going to have bad performances. Whatever manager is your GOAT has had bad performances. Doesn't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? Your GOAT currently right now and your GOAT manager of all time. Your top 5 of all time managers. Your top 5 currently have all gone through things. People forget I use Pep Guardiola as a prime example. He was being questioned last season. People forget this though. Haaland has made them worse. That was a genuine conversation. Silly conversation, by the way, but that was a genuine conversation. And they flipped it around and won the treble. Now, if that was our fan base, with that level of player, we would have been in uproar. If we would have had Pep Guardiola, so a manager of his level, and would have had players, because they have talented players in that team. Let's not forget Haaland, Foden, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Diaz, Stones, the list goes on. If we was performing like that and was behind that Arsenal side, under Arteta, our fan base would have been the same way some of the fan base is going crazy right now. They'd be going crazy in that situation. Going absolutely nuts. And yet they turned it around. Give man the chance to, all I'm saying is give man opportunity to turn it around. It's been 2 games. Now, if this is 20 games, fully hear it. If it was 20 games and we was playing like this, I'd fully. It's been 2 matches. It's been 180 minutes. Bear in mind, we won one of the matches. Bear that in mind, people. Did we deserve to? No, but it's not what you deserve. You either win or you don't. Simple as that. Word to Michael Owen quote there. You win, you lose, you draw. You know what I'm saying? Forget all this thing about deserved. Because like I've always stated before, one of the greatest, no, the greatest game in our in modern day history against Bayern in '99. Most of you lot probably didn't watch that. I watched that. We was awful in that game. We was horrific. Went 1-0 down. Bayern hit the woodwork like 3-4 times. They should have been outside. Fortunately enough, we won the game. But the point I'm making is the overreaction in regards to it, because it's been 2 matches. Now, if it's 10 matches, 15 matches, 20 matches, I'd get it to an extent. I'd understand it much more. It's been 2. Because what happens if we go and beat Forest and look well? Say we beat Forest 2-0 and look good. Is everything all hunky-dory and we don't need to make any signings? We still need to make signings. Yeah, go on, carry on.
With me, no. Like I said before, I'll give him to the end of September to rectify this situation. When I mean rectify, I want him to rectify that midfield, because midfield wins games. Yeah, everything goes through that midfield. Yeah, and until this day, I keep saying it's flawless. It's been 10 years. Are we ever going to win a midfield battle? It's been 10 years and we don't win midfield battle. We don't win midfield battle. We don't dominate the midfield. We don't do nothing for the last 10 years. When is that going to change? And when is it going to end? Like, man, stressed out here, you know? I want to see my midfield dominate.
When we get better midfielders.
But I'll give it to the end. I'm not Eric Ten Hag out though. Like, man likes the guy. I want him to succeed, but I'll give him to rectify this situation, rectify the Bruno Mount and Bruno situation. I said Bruno and Mason Mount situation. And also on the fact that don't play Rashford up front. We want to get the striker fit already. Are you going to sign another striker? Because I can't go no season with Martial as a backup, who's already possibly injured by the time he gets off his bed. I mean. So, like, come on, man. And then Rashford as up front, we've seen it before. We don't want that. We want Rashford in his best position, everyone in their best positions, so we can thrive from it. So man, it's just I'm just tired.
And Shakar said it best here. People need to understand you can back a manager and also criticize. Nothing wrong with that, and that's what I've been doing the entire time. I hear the criticism. I'm just not going overboard. No way I'm gonna turn Ten Hag out after 2 poor performances, because if we performed 10 out of 10 in those 2 games, I wouldn't be sat here saying build him a statue. We're gonna win it all. So it's kind of like I'm taking it on a game by game basis with Ten Hag. Does it need to improve? Yes. Has he made mistakes? In my opinion, also yes. Him playing I put the vast majority of the blame on that Spurs defeat on him, because he went with the same team as well. He went with the same team, but I'm seeing classic overreaction as always in the chat. But we move to Daredevil, who says, flawless, do you rate Gravenberch, a player who's been linked with? I don't know enough about him, Daredevil, so I can't really answer that in regards to Gravenberch as well. Just a couple things in regards to Manchester United as well. In terms of transfers, this is from Warrior J. Harry Maguire's situation is completely quiet. Nothing is happening with Maguire after his move to West Ham collapsed, so Manchester United are not close to signing a new centre-back. That's unfortunate if he does indeed stay. Varane wants to stay and will stay at Manchester United. His and the club's intention is to continue together. Both of those are from Fabrizio Romano. Over the moon about the latter, Varane staying. All with that as well. Gavin Vaz says Manchester United are conducting medical tests for, is that Bayinde? Ahead of a 5 million move for the Fenerbahce goalkeeper. From David Ornstein. Tamako said, has Ten Hag ever revisited a player of the same profile as De Jong? No. Because that's not the way he wants to go. Whether you think that's right or whether you think that's wrong, that's what I've been pointing out. Because people always love to do too much and point back to his Ajax teams. Look at the first Ajax team, look at the second Ajax team. They were not the same. Look at the player profiles. They were not the same. Everyone remembers the one with De Jong and De Ligt. I think Donny van de Beek was in there, maybe a Ziyech. And that was the possession-based one. Now go look at the second one that he built. It kind of looked like this. It wasn't De Jongs, it wasn't Eriksen's, it wasn't your technically sound ballers. Again, not saying one's right or wrong. Just go do your research. And then this shouldn't be that much of a big shock. Shikara, I'll get to that in regard to Greenwood as well. RSV says, you might not like it, but I'm not trying to sound negative, but you are about to sound negative. Ten Hag is stubborn with the out of possession man-for-man press that happened at Ajax, and if one player switches off, we will get smoked. I'm all for that. If he wants to go, like, people say being stubborn is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm glad my manager's stubborn. I don't want, because you know what? If a manager's not stubborn, guess what we'll all call him? A yes man, a pushover, etc., etc. So do I want my manager to be stubborn in certain things? Yes. However, you have to make the correct decisions, and he's going to get things wrong. You know what I'm saying? So in regards to, I don't think our press is a problem, RSV. This is classic of you doing too much. I don't look at Manchester United and go, our press is the problem. In particular, in the first half against Spurs, the press was good. The problem we have is our quality. But we knew this leading into the, well, I don't know if you did. I was saying this all summer long. Where's our creativity and where's our goals coming from? Most of a lot of our fans, can't say the vast majority, a lot of our fans are vastly overrating this team. And that's why now we've come crashing down, and that's why people are whining and complaining. Because people vastly overrated this team. When I said, if we sign Mason Mount, I'm signing out, people looked at me funny. When I said, where's the goals and creativity coming from? People looked at me funny. When I said, we scored 58 league goals last season and added Mason Mount, why all of a sudden was we going to look so much better? People are complaining about the football not changing. It's the same players. Why was the football going to change? Now, if Højlund joins and we sign Amrabat, for example, because we'll get onto the title of this video, which is what Manchester United need to do in this transfer window. But say we sign Amrabat, Højlund, and then still look the same, that's when I'd hear that. But it's the same football because it's the same players. But you lot pay too much attention and rate this team too high. I've said this before. You rate these players too highly. You know what I'm saying? Rate these players way, way, way too highly and then act shocked when we don't perform well. The reason why I don't get emotional and annoyed by performances is because I don't rate this team. And I've been saying this for the longest. Even when we're playing well and people's getting gas talking about we can win. Let's not forget, just a few months ago, United can win, not even over a year, was it? No, not even over a year ago, because it was January, February. Manchester United can win the league. Remember when we was in a title race? Remember that, Ivorian? When we was in a title race.
I was like, remember, I was just putting myself away from that shit. Like, I was like,
people was running with it. People were running with it. Like 110%. To Jesse, who says Maguire and Scott are still at the club. That is kind of on Manchester United. We should have accepted the bid for Scott McTominay and we should have paid off Harry Maguire. But the reason why I'm not too fussed about those two being at the club because they're barely going to play. I'm not fussed about our fifth choice centre-back. Who's Arsenal's fifth choice centre-back? Who's Chelsea's fifth choice centre-back? Who's Liverpool's fifth choice centre-back? Your fifth choice for reasons the same with Scott McTominay. Would I prefer them to leave? Yes. However, the fact that they're not playing, I'm with it. I'm fully with them not playing. I'm glad that they aren't playing. They're not first choice. They're not second choice. Would I prefer them to leave? Absolutely. Of course. And that's on us. I said this. Very silly move for us not accepting that bid for Scott McTominay. But some people was like, no, we should get more money for him. Why? He's not a good player. Move him on. Same with Maguire. We did accept the bid. We should have just paid him off. If he wanted 7 million, 10 million, 15 million, whatever it was, we should have just paid him off and got him moving. But in regards to, we have major issues at this club, and Maguire and Scott McTominay being there to me is not an issue because they don't play. They don't play. It's like the second choice, third choice goalkeeper. I'm not really, really fussed. I'm not fussed whatsoever.
Sure, but
I agree with you, Rajat, who says when Ten Hag put out the same team, that was his first mistake. I legit said on the show, I put the vast majority of the blame on that. I put the vast majority of that Spurs defeat on Ten Hag for putting out the same team. That's on him. Yeah, man, I said it. The Tottenham game just shows what Flawless said, where the goal's coming from, but people act surprised when our attack that scored 58 league goals last season and you've added in Mason Mount doesn't create too much and doesn't score. Granted, we did actually create against Spurs. We just didn't take goals. We didn't take our chances, but that's not a surprise because our attacking players are just not very good. Our team is just not very good. Why is this a surprise? We watched this team all last year. I don't know if people watch it through red-tinted glasses or we're just too emotionally invested to see what's actually going on and see the actual level of these players. Mount and Bruno was never going to work. I got backlash for that. Ivorian got backlash for that. Now everyone's quiet after 2 games.
Yeah, man. I was never happy with this Mason Mount situation. I was like, what? Why? Like, what are we trying to achieve here? What's the end game, coach? Like, what is the end game with Mason Mount? Like, all I said to you guys is that I hope he does well. We were saying hope.
Yeah.
Hope it works out.
Yeah, agreed.
Look at us now.
Agreed. 100%. Agreed. 100%.
You know what's so funny, Flawless, that people just assumed that we had a great transfer season. And when you asked me what do we need, and I was like, we need more than this. It's not enough. But we'll address that. Well, what do Manchester United need in the transfer window?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Not an overreaction, in my opinion. 2 full pre-seasons and a whole season, and we still haven't seen a style of play and clear patterns of play. We rely on moments because we have the same players, Jack. These players cannot be successful under anything, under any system, under any style, under any pattern of play. These players are not good enough to. There's no style of play where these players are better in, that these players perform better. He did this last season, and we played ugly football. and we won games off moments. Yes, the reason why we rely on moments is because outside of our Rashford, our attack is not very good. But I've said this. We all know this. Now, granted, he's added into that with Anthony not being up to par and Mount being another attacking signing, and that's partly on Ten Hag. So add his 2 signings that haven't worked, take Rashford out, and look at the rest of the attackers. Look at the rest of creativity, including the fullbacks, because they add to an attacking part more so from a creative standpoint. And we act surprised. So in regards to it, it's definitely an overreaction in my opinion, 110%. And if that's the case, like I said, if it's all doom and gloom and it's all bad, don't watch Manchester United. But you lot won't do that because you lot love to complain. I'm saying, sit down and watch something you don't like. Makes no sense. Makes 0 sense to me. If it's all bad and it's doom and gloom and it's been 2 years and da-da-da and all, don't watch. Said this before, but you lot won't. But hey, we move. To O who says, who drops to the bench if Amrabat comes in? Does he take Bruno or Mount's spot as a starter? Good question. I don't know. I don't know. What are you saying about this, Ivorian?
Who dropped to the bench?
Mason
Mount, bro.
No, not who you would. Who do you think he drops? What do you think he does if we sign Amrabat?
Mason Mount.
You reckon
he loves Bruno, Mount? Obviously. Obviously, he loves Bruno.
First.
Like, I can't drop the Bruno. He's captain. He chose him as the captain. So again, he signed Mason Mount knowing that it's a gamble and a risk. So most likely, he'll probably drop him and put in Amrabat to help out with Casemiro in midfield, because really and truly, we don't need those two on that pitch at the same time, man. In certain games, especially when you're playing away at Tottenham, where you need to have both like-minded players like Casemiro in the midfield and then someone who's offensive to help out and create things. But again, we lack creators. We lack playmakers for some reason. The only playmaker in my eyes that I see in Manchester United's midfield is probably Christian Eriksen, the guy who had the most assists before he got injured, Flawless. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't give a shit about Bruno's GAs, about he's created the most chances, yeah. But I mean, how many of assists did he really get last season? Like, he can create a lot of big chances, you know. Hear that? Yeah, you can do that, you know. But really and truly, I don't give a shit, man. If I don't see a good performance in 90 minutes and you're not connecting play, you're not being the orchestrator of the football team, I don't give a shit, man. I don't care about GAs, man. I have had enough of this GA shit, man. I'm about, can you kick the ball? Can you pass the ball? Can you do the simple, basic things good? Yes or no? And if you can't, then I don't give a shit about your Moments FC stuff, you know. I don't care. I just don't care, bro. But yeah, we don't have playmakers. The only playmaker we have is Christian Eriksen, a natural playmaker who thinks before he makes a pass, who looks before he makes a pass as well, who's thinking every step, every second. He's thinking 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Like, it's ticking in his head. No, Bruno Fernandes just clutch moments, straight up, let me do this without thinking. So yeah, man, it makes him out as the same football player. Until we address the playmakers situation, and we ain't gonna go nowhere, Flawless, man. These moment players, I've had enough, man. I've really had enough.
Players, moments. To Jesse, who says Mount gets dropped, obviously, I wouldn't be so sure. I think if we sign Amrabat, I'm not sure he goes straight into the lineup. I'm not gonna lie.
You better.
Same way if we were to sign someone else we've been linked with, not necessarily a variety, I can see him doing that, but I don't think Amrabat necessarily goes straight into the side. Again, that's you lot. Man say Mount gets dropped. Obviously, don't be surprised if he doesn't. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised he has. And and Jesse, he does have stubbornness. 110%. Ten Hag stubborn. Without doubt, he's stubborn. But like I said, it's a gift and a curse being stubborn, especially as a manager. Let's see what else you lot are saying in the chat as well. We will get onto the actual title of the video also as well. And to Andrew, who says Shaw and Dalot plus Wan-Bissaka also need to be upgraded at fullback. Bruno is average and Mount, so I expect these performances from them as they aren't good enough. Yeah, we know this. And three of those 4, I can't really put on him. Actually, yeah, I can to an extent. But I don't know, is he getting the money to sign 2 new fullbacks? Is he getting money to replace a Bruno? Because we do need a whole new team. Don't get mistaken, people. We need a whole new team. Even if we were to sack Ten Hag today and sign a new manager, I'd still be sat here saying the exact same thing in regards to we need new players, because this lot, not good enough. That's why I'm not hearing about tactics and style of play and possession and these players are just not good enough. Go get new players. We do need new players. Now, can the manager be doing better with what he has, in particular in the first 2 games? Yes. but he needs to step it up. You know what I'm saying? He needs to step it up. He does. He needs to be getting more out of what he has. But the players are just trash, man. We suck. Simple. But what will happen is we'll beat Forest and everyone will show up. We'll beat
Not
Forest,
me.
look half decent, and then it'll be
Nah.
like, all right, maybe we can do such and such. Like a Mount will get a goal, Bruno will get an assist, and it's all no. These players are just not very good. This is why I'm not shocked. It's really why I'm not. But yeah, we'll go into it. What do Manchester United need in this transfer window? Floor is yours, Ivorian.
I always say new ownership, but that's not the question, innit?
Yeah. We know that.
That's not the
That goes without
question.
saying.
Yeah, definitely. As I was highlighting earlier on, we need another striker. We can't stick with having Hoyland and relying on him, and then obviously when he gets injured, we're gonna have to rely on Marcus Rashford because it doesn't work like that, man. We need a natural striker who scores goals. So invest into someone, even someone that's at the same level as Haaland or just slightly better or an understudy to him. But it's funny, you can't say an understudy when this guy's only 20 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, we're looking at someone that's 18, that's not good enough, not nowhere near his level. But we and truly, we want someone that's far better than Haaland, that's ready to fit to score the goals right now. So striker, a number one striker still needed. That's a requirement. I'm not sold on a project of Haaland. I'm not here for the like 2-3 years later. I'm one in it right now for the now, right now, because Manchester United need players for now, not for the next 2 years, not for the next 3 years. Nah, no. We've waited 10 years, since Ferguson's retired. It's been 10 freaking years, and 10 freaking years we've been trying to get this whole thing right. There's no time to waste. And midfielders, we need 2 new midfielders. No, I'm sorry, mate. The midfielders that we got, because we got rid of Fred and we need to get rid of Scott McTominay. We need another 2 solid midfielders that can do the job. We need someone that will displace Bruno Fernandes in his position and do way better than him. Bruno Fernandes is too comfortable, and when you're comfortable, it's not a good thing. Being comfortable in a football club at a top level is not a good thing. When you play at the highest level at one of the top teams in the world, you should never ever be comfortable in the position that you're in. Yes, I'm Manchester United's number one midfielder. I don't need to step up my game. I don't need to be consistent because who's going to dislodge me? That was a David De Gea situation right there. Look at that. He started making mistakes. He continued to make mistakes, and he was comfortable because no one was going to dislodge him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Bruno Fernandes, he needs competition for his place. So maybe if he gets that, then he'll start stepping up in terms of being consistent in 90 minutes of a game. And of course, another one to probably support Casemiro in his position, because I can trust that Ericsson can do a job for when Mason Mount is not available. Because of course, this is our our first choice midfield is going to be Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount and Casemiro. So that means Christian Eriksen won't get that much game time. Let's be honest, whether we like it or not, this is our midfield. No. And then we look at the fullback again. I always say this before. I don't rate Luke Shaw. I don't care. This Gilberto Carlos, this nonsense thing. I can't ride with this. I haven't rated Luke Shaw for a good 6-7 years, bro. Ever since he's got injured and he had his moments, I don't rate Luke Shaw. He's not a fullback that I expect at Manchester United, who play at the highest level. A fullback that we need to have needs to be solid defensively and solid offensively as well. There needs to be a balance. We need a fullback that needs to commit to the byline and whip in those crosses as well and support the attack. I see Luke Shaw as half-hearted footballer. He's too comfortable as well. He's not elevating his game. In my opinion, he has not improved. In the last 3 to 4 years, he has not improved, never taken his game to the next level. He's had a purple patch, flawless, but he has never really improved and taken his game to the next level and be consistent with it, flawless. That's the one thing I have to say about Luke Shaw. And of course, a new centre back, to replace Maguire, because Maguire ain't going to be playing. The guy got dropped and then tried to tell us that it's illness. And if he's not taking that as a hint that you need to leave, then you're just a coward and you're just here for the money, Let's be real. Now, no one wants to say it. None of these guys who represent Sky Sports never want to highlight the fact that Maguire's a coward and he's not ambitious enough. He wants to stay at Manchester United and what? And chop money. and chop money because he's not going to get the equivalent wages that he will get if he was to leave. That's a joke. Sometimes you need to highlight that and be honest. Don't just look at other people and try and point fingers about other players being mercenaries. But our former captain is a mercenary, in my opinion, if he doesn't want to take the move to play regular football and have a chance of playing in the Euros, because as I believe, guys, 2024 is Euro time, isn't it? And if you want to play football and you want to be in the England team,
it's the Euros, isn't it?
Come on, Gareth Solskjaer is not going to be doing the same thing as always, bro.
Gareth Solskjaer,
they're the same people, fam. They're the same people.
Agreed.
Yeah, same football, freestyling it out, talking shit, picking their favorites. But yeah, and then of course a striker, 2 new midfielders, a right winger.
What you want? Look how much he literally named the whole team.
A right winger. For now. Just for now. Like I said, 2 midfielders, right winger, striker, a new left back as well, and a centre back as well. Yeah, that's a good amount of six more players. Because this team is not good enough, Flawless. This team has never been good enough to challenge. And again, if people are realizing this now, I realized this last season when we sat there doing watch-alongs and you're thinking, where's this philosophy? Like, why can't this team create enough chances and score goals? The questions were there until now, till this day, we're still facing the same problems, And I don't know if it's a stigma that hovers around Manchester United that we can't play attacking football. We're good at playing defensive, sit back, soak up the pressure, part the boss football. That's what we've been doing for the last 6-7 years. But when it comes to attacking football, it's like the gods are against us playing attacking football.
I don't think it's that we can't play attacking football. I just think, like I keep saying, we just know the players just ain't very good.
And on top of that, ownership in terms of scouting the right players, in terms of making the right decision, has also played a part in this situation of trying to play attacking football. Because I'll be honest with you, Flawless, I don't think Mount was his first choice midfield. Somehow I feel like it's a second or third choice.
I don't think so.
The striker wasn't a first choice. Nah, I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes in it. Unless he's said it with his chest that yes, I want to Mason Mount out of all the other midfielders.
I think he wanted Mason Mount. I did.
But the striker situation is not his first choice.
Yeah, I think Højlund would have been like alongside somebody else. I do agree with that. In regards to what you mentioned about Bruno when you said, "Oh, he's comfortable," I think you're giving him too much credit. I don't think he's comfortable.
Well, what are you saying?
I think it's just a lack of ability. Again, what I keep stating, he's just not very good. I don't think he's. If he was under, like his position was under threat, we'd see a much better than him. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a lack of effort or application from Bruno. That's one thing I'll never say about Bruno Fernandes is that he's not trying. That he's not trying to make things happen. He just can't because of ability. It's like putting me out there on the pitch. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I try, but I'm just not good enough for where Manchester United want to go to. Like, that's what it is. There's a difference between just lack of effort and just lack of quality. And I keep talking about skill set. And that's what these players lack. This is why I don't get too mad about style of play and this, that, and the third. And then people will point to other teams and go, well, they have a style of play and yeah, but we don't want their results. People point to Brighton all the time. De Zerbi doing a fantastic job, getting the best out of some players you've not heard of, some players who we think are quality. If we had Brighton results, we'd riot. Brighton results are not good enough for Manchester United. We want Brighton's style of play to an extent. We want Brighton's football. We want attractive football. We do not want their results. This is why, where did they finish last season? Sixth? Seventh? Sixth? Where did we finish? Third. So we finished comfortably above him. How many points did we finish above him?
Check the Premier League.
Yeah, double check that. That's just the point I'm making. The level of expectation here is different. And people need to realize that. That's why it's tough. It's difficult to compare Manchester United situation to other clubs. You got to compare us to other top teams.
And we finished what? So they finished with 62 points and we finished with 75 points. That's more than 15 points.
There we go.
Actually, more than 10 points, basically.
The point that I'm making is compare Manchester United to other top teams. You have to compare us to a Liverpool, Arsenal, for example. But then the level of expectation and the scrutiny you're under is similar. Brighton and Brentford and Aston Villa, Newcastle United, the level of expectation is not the same. The level of expectation, if one of them teams has a poor result, it's not mentioned. Brighton got battered 5-1 by Sean Dyche's Everton on their home patch. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody mentioned. Let us get beat 5-1 at home. We just lost 2-0 away at Spurs, and here, see the difference. One result is miles worse than the other. One performance is miles worse than the other. But here, the difference in it, that didn't get mentioned at the time. Didn't get mentioned. It just got glossed over. You know why? Because it's Brighton. Same way Graham Potter, when he was there, got praised for his great results. Praised for his great and his great. But when they went on terrible runs and was winning 2-5 and 3-10, because when people matched up his reign at Chelsea to his reign at Brighton, the results weren't far apart. They were very similar because he went on runs like that at Brighton. Because it's Brighton, people ain't paying attention because you're not under the same scrutiny. You don't have as many eyeballs on you. You can do that at Brighton, no disrespect. You can do that at Brentford, at Villa, at Newcastle. Can't do that at Manchester United. I'm saying we've won one game, lost one game, and certain people want the manager out. There's conversations of if he's good enough. 2 games into a season, with the window still open. But again, that just shows the difference in expectations. Just shows the difference in expectations. To Raja, who says, I think these lot are very complacent. I think you're giving them an out, like I said to Ivorian about Bruno. I don't think these players are complacent. They're just not good enough. They've been here long enough. Take out the new signings. Take away even though I think Mount's a terrible, horrible signing to stand on that. Take out Malacio. Take out Anthony. Martinez, Casemiro. Take them out. Take Varane out of the equation. The rest of these players are just not good enough. The vast majority of this squad. And I've said this all summer long. Even last season when we was playing well, I'm like, we are still short. Even someone like Eriksen, who I'm a fan of, I said the whole time, yes, I'm a fan of Eriksen. Yes, good squad player. Go and get a major improvement on him, though. That's where one area we need to strengthen, and that wasn't Mason Mount. And I was told, Mason Mount's much better. Major improvement is an improvement because he runs around and closes down. Okay, but in regards to what we need, 110% 2 new fullbacks. I've said this. 2 new. We need a right back and need a left back. This is an ideal world, people. I don't think this happens before anyone says, well, you're not going to sign all them players. You got the Glazers. It's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in an ideal world, right back, left back, 2 new midfielders in terms of a in terms of someone who's more defensively minded, someone who's more creative, and a striker as well. That's what's needed. Like a senior striker, and then even a senior striker who's like 24 or above, and then a younger striker who's like 18 or 19. And then you got 3. And then I think our team would be set. I said this already where we were 5 short. That's 2 fullbacks, 2 central midfielders, and a striker. That's 5. Forget squad players that I could mention as well. Forget the squad player. I like Wan-Bissaka. I still think we need another centre-back, so that's 6. That's 6. I still think we need another DM behind Casemiro. That's 7. What are we talking about? I know a striker. That's 8. Probably another creative midfielder as well. That's 9. It's 9. Overall. But hey, we move, people. We move. Let's see what else you lot are saying in the chat as well. Continue to get your questions in also, because we're going to close out shortly. Of course, if you super chat, we'll get straight to it as well. Where is it?
You might want to get straight to it, bruv.
Subscribe as well. Yeah, facts. Hit the subscribe button as well, man. We've had no new subscribers this show. We're at 7,777 subscribers. 3 more. 3 more people. Get us to 7,780. There's over 50 people watching right now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell because you're clearly enjoying the content. Make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel as well. The link is in the title, Red United TV. Click the link, opens up a new tab, and then you can find his channel and all his socials on there. Kenneth, big up for the super chat, who says, ideal world, Rashford and Bruno on the bench. I'm not even mad at it. Rashford off the bench is a great. I'm not, because he performed well last season. That's why I'm more of a defense of him. I want to see him get moved back to left wing and see how you are, because I need you to put together, have another great season like you did last season. But this whole thing of, Rashford, it was a purple patch. He's never done that before. Go check Rashford's record. Rashford, the entire time that he's been in Manchester United's first team, gets goals. He scores goals. Like, let's not do that. Apart from not last season, the season just gone, the season before where he was poor. Every season he's put up 15 or more in terms of goals. Don't know about assists, but he's put up 15 goals or more. So Rashford in terms of goals is not the problem. His overall play has to improve, and I think he did that last year because he had little to no help last year and still managed to put up GNA and have impact and at times play up front as well, a position we all know he can't play. But does he need to do better this season? Absolutely. He needs to do better this season. Yeah, I hear you. When you said flawless, I told you we need 13 players back in May, and it still stands true. I'm with you. I'm not gonna defend any of these
Absolutely.
players. I ain't defending any of these players. But Kenneth, big up for the super chat as well, man. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let's see what else you lot are saying as well. See if I missed. What did I miss? Yeah, Jesse, of course I'm doing a watch along on Saturday. Of course. Watch along for Manchester United. Why would I not be doing a watch along? Of course. Warrior J says, just in Manchester United defender Brandon Williams is poised to join Ipswich Town. That's from at Sports Pete. On 12. Okay, first. Move him on. He ain't gonna play anyway. He's even been making the bench.
No.
He's been making the bench. I even think he's been making the bench. But hey, we move. Let's see what else you lot. I know I missed some comments as well, so I'm just trying to find it.
I feel like I'm getting mixed. Flawless, I'm getting like mixed information regarding these Twitter feeds where you got that backup goalkeeper that we're trying to sign, Bayender or something like that. At Altai Bayender. Some say we've agreed a 7 million deal. Now it depends on the medical. You got MUFC, MPB. And also, you got United reports saying that he has passed his medical check. I'm like, and they're both in the space of 3 minutes from each other. Why do people do this to us? What is it?
I'm seeing two different things. United get clicks. United get clicks. That's why I always just wait for a reliable source to say it. Big up Surfer in the cut as well. Surfer, depends what time I'm back, but we'll probably run clubs. That being said, people, look out for that on the Twitch, 10 p.m., 10 to 8 p.m. You'll probably get pro clubs. Make sure you go follow the Sarcasm City TV Twitch. And I will be starting up a kick as well soon. So make sure you lot get over to that as well. But I'll let you lot know closer to the time. Hey, are we only at 35 likes? What's going on, man? Like check 1 2 1 2. Let's get up to 50 likes. There's over 50 of you lot in the building. Hit the like button, man. What are we doing here? Let's bump up those likes. But yeah, in regards to like I was saying with Manchester United, is it bad? Yes. But do I expect us to beat Forest? Also, yes. In regards to the window, we have to go into the window. If we don't go into the window and get some more players, we're screwed. We need players. We're screwed. If we don't go into the window and get players, we are screwed. 110%.
But it just look flawless. It just depends on what the club wants to do, because this club doesn't know what they want to do in terms of taking the club forward. Like we're in the middle of August, yeah, and you've been knowing that we needed a world-class striker, and you didn't do it. You didn't deliver it. You know that the manager needs a proper midfielder that creates, So he didn't do it. You brought in scrubs instead. You know that Manchester United need to be sold. And look at this Glazer situation. They've taken the absolute piss with the whole summer going by. We're approaching September, or the end of the transfer window, where we thought ourselves as Manchester United fan, we was supposed to have an amazing summer, because we thought by the time the season was done, this club would have been sold. Would have been swimming in Arab money. We would have been singing. What's it called? We would have been singing Arab Money, Busta Rhyme, the whole entire summer, enjoying that. Like, get me? We would have been enjoying it. But look at this club, like the shambolic behavior in the shambles. Even the way they dealt with my man's situation, like that thing doesn't take 7 months to investigate internally. That should have been locked off straight away January. In fact, you didn't even need to go through the whole. In fact, during the preseason, you should have made that decision and stopped distracting us from shit. And it was so funny. I ain't forgotten that we lost against Tottenham. Don't throw me that news and make me try and forget that we lost against Tottenham. You see how they just threw that in and said, yeah, we made our decision. And while we're still upset about the Saturday defeat. But this club is a joke sometimes with the way they strategize and move, man. Until that club is sold, yeah, I'm not convinced that we'll reach the heights that we once were in 10 years ago when Sir Alex Ferguson was there. Like, I'm not convinced, flawless, until we get rid of those owners. And those owners are the reason why we are stagnating and we're not progressing. Each time we want to progress, we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back all the time. Like, and that's why I said, is there a stigma that hovers around the cloud that we can't progress? I know we are called the Red Devils, but somehow we need we need Jesus. We need saving. I don't know if we need to fast or someone needs to sprinkle some holy water to relieve the evil spirit that's hovering around Old Trafford. And I just don't know. It's like, why is it us that? I always say, why is it us that we just can't progress? We see other teams splashing money and doing well. like for example, Man City. Let's put Chelsea aside, but before Todd Bowley, when it was Abramovich, every sacks a manager, signs better players, win a trophy. When we do it, it don't work. What's going on? Like spiritually, what's going on at Old Trafford, man? You know, like why is it that we can't progress?
Yeah, you're right.
10 years.
Are you right, fam? Well, I hear you. I hear exactly what you're saying. Big up to well, let me get to it. Jesse, I did see this earlier. Was it Jesse? Yeah, to answer the question, I think United need 2 midfielders just to balance the midfield. We'll be all right defensively as the midfield will be stable enough. I do agree with that. That's why it's not all doom and gloom because the window's closed. After, like I said, if the window closes and this is the team, we're in trouble. However, if we sign at least one midfielder, which I do believe we will, I do believe we sign at least one player, maybe 2, then that switches it up. That switches it up, and then I think we'll be a much better unit, even with Mount and Bruno. Even so, because one of them will probably get shifted out wide or shifted to the bench. I don't think any of them are undroppable. I wouldn't say that. I don't think any of them are undroppable. And when I say that, I'm talking about in Ten Hag's mind. But he will drop them. If they continue to play poorly, I don't believe he's just going to die on his Mount and Bruno hill and just continue to play like that and continue to just not perform well, and he's not going to change it. I have more faith in the manager than that. Because I like Ten Hag. I backed Ten Hag before, and I still do. Like Shakar said earlier, you can back a manager and still criticize. That's where I'm at with Ten Hag. Yeah. So I believe he's smart enough, even though I disagreed with him putting out the same team against Spurs. Managers are going to make mistakes. No manager is going to do 100% of the things you like. Sir Alex Ferguson was like that. Everything he did, every lineup he put out, every player he signed, every player he sold, I didn't like. But more often than not, he got it right than he got it wrong. That's now on Ten Hag. That's what he has to do. Live by, I say it all the time, live by your decisions, die by your decisions. That's what it is with the manager. So I'm expecting him to do, all right, so it's not worked against Wolves in terms of performance, not worked against Spurs in terms of performance and result. So he's just going to go do the same thing against Forest. He's going to just go do the same thing against Arsenal. He's just going to do the same thing against Brighton. To me, the manager's smarter than that. I give him more credit from that. And he has credit in the bank from last season because our first 2 games last season was worse than this. And he managed to turn it around, and it was looking bleak with a worse team. Even though the team's still not good enough, that team was worse. So that's how I'm looking at it. Was that team? Yeah, because I had Højlund in the mix and Onana. So yes, to me that team was worse, even though Højlund is not yet fit. So I'm giving the manager some time. That's all I'm giving him, some time. To Shikari says, question for Flawless and Ivorian. Did you hear the news around Richard Arnold? He's being pressured to resign after handling the Greenwood situation. If this is indeed the case, good. I'm glad he's being put under the pressure to resign. Because the way that situation was handled was despicable. And forget whether you think Greenwood should play or Greenwood shouldn't play. Park that to the side. Make the decision. Don't put it on anybody else. Make the decision and stand on it. If, for argument's sake, Richard Arnold and the other people making that decision believe Greenwood should have played, they should have come out, made a statement, said Greenwood's going to be here, and then that's that. And then deal with the backlash. But you know what they did? Delayed it, made a statement without making a statement, tried to put it on the women's team, and then they started getting abused. Bear in mind, the women players haven't publicly said anything about it.
Yeah,
but they tried to shift the blame. They did everything in their power to try and bring him back. But because of media backlash and women's groups and everything else, now they don't want to do it. If everyone had okayed it, they would have been okay with it. Cowards. That's what they did. And when I say cowards, not as people, I'm talking about in that situation. Cowards. Make the decision yourself. And if you want Greenwood to come back, bring him back and deal with the backlash. Don't bring him back, and then just don't bring him back and have no backlash, which is pick the morally correct decision. Morally correct. Pick the morally correct decision. That's bigger than football, that decision. That's not me and Ivorian sat here whether Ten Hag's good enough or how do we get the best out of Bruno or can we work with Mount. This is beyond football. Just make the moral decision, the correct moral decision from a human being standpoint. And they failed to do that. Cowards. And they knew, you know how they know it was the wrong decision? Because they tried to pass the blame. They tried to delay it. That's why they're making statements without making statements.
Even in their statements, they're not making sense with their statement.
Make no sense. The statement was
you didn't do it. So you're telling me you didn't do it, then? But why did you sack him? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't make sense. Like, it took you 7 months to make this decision. This decision should be made The moment it hit February, the guy got
made a decision.
Charge got dropped. It didn't need to take. It didn't need to take this long. That's why I put this club. I just don't understand. You let the whole summer go through, and then now that we're in the middle of the season, we're being hit with distractions. I swear to God, are we EastEnders? Are we a soap opera show?
Yeah.
Like every time it's a doof moment, you know. We've been receiving doof every time. We've had Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mason Greenwood, potentially Anthony himself. Like seriously, are you gonna social situation? Like when are we gonna be a football club? And you know, when are we gonna walk away from this commercial situation, the commercial side, bro? I'm tired of this, you know. I just want a normal football club.
We have hella duff moments from. That's us, man. We duffed off FC. That's all we got. We duffed off FC, man. Hella duffed off.
For those don't watch it,
right, man.
That's the end, the climax.
For those that may not know, so EastEnders is a popular soap over here, or soap opera if you're stateside or wherever you're at, like drama show that's on a weekly basis in the UK. And at the end of the show, like the cliffhanger, they go doof 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 doof. Like that's the sound. So we call it the duff moments, like where they leave it on the cliffhanger, and they do it every single show. Like EastEnders been on for years, people. So that's for those that may not know. I forget we have an international audience here, so they might be like, "What's a duff?" So if you type in EastEnders on YouTube, it will pop up, and then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And that's it. And yeah, Rajat, this is my point, because you're saying, plan was to get Greenwood back into the team, then the U-turn. That's the thing. Stand on it. I'd stand on a moral decision if you just stood on it and said, yes, we are bringing him back and made the statement and then under the carpet. But it's the way you tried to weasel your way around it because you knew it was wrong. That's why they tried to weasel. So for anyone backing Greenwood and saying they should have been back, why are the people who were going to bring him back trying to weasel around it? Why are they trying to weasel around it? Because they know it's not the correct decision. That's why. Just straight immoral from them. I can't stand that coward decision.
Yeah.
Stand on your decision. If you make it, all right, bring him back. Cool. Not cool, but cool as in, all right, I know where you stand. That's what I like. I hate in the middle people, the middle ground that don't know where you stand. It's like when people are racist. I'm not saying I'm happy. I'm glad when people are racist because then I know where I stand. Show your true colors. Don't smile up in my face and talk to me and you hate black people. No. If you're a racist, stand on it. So then I know. You know what I'm saying? That's what rep your set. The same way me and Ivorian say, yes, we're Manchester United fans. And Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, whoever you support will say in any sport, everybody reps their set. Like, oh yes, I'm a United fan. Yes, I'm a fan of such and such. That's how it is. Like, if you believe Greenwood is okay, cool. Like, the amount of people who backed Greenwood. You know what I'm saying? Who backed Greenwood, I know where I stood with them. Cool, that's your opinion on it. But even the people trying to make the decision tried to weasel their way around it and put it on the women's team. Oh, we're going to talk to the women. Releasing statements without making statements. Nah, don't do that. Don't pass the buck. But I'm glad for everyone who wanted Greenwood back, hold that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone who gave me criticism for my standpoint and my views and my stance on the Greenwood situation, hold that.
Your standpoint is
I hope he never plays professional football again. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but the hope not professional. You know what I always say before, because I've always said before, young people need mentoring as well.
Get him help because of the situation there. And sorry to cut you off, because of him and the girl getting married and them having a baby.
Wait, that's getting too much. I thought baby first.
I could be wrong. I swear I heard they're getting married, but I could stand corrected. My point is the fact that there's now a baby involved and they're together. Get him. What's it called? Get him help. I do agree with that. Rehabilitate him and get him help. I'm fully with that. Because now you've got a baby in a potential volatile situation and the baby don't deserve that. But go on, carry on, fam. Carry on.
Yeah, that's it. No. I believe that people need help. You know, young people especially, they need mentoring because, of course, you know, this new Gen Z generation, the bad things that they see it as normal, all right, and all that kind of stuff. So I just think that certain people like Mason Greenwood, he's young age, they need mentoring. Young people need mentoring, leadership, right people around him to get them there. And I think Manchester United himself have probably failed him. You know, Manchester United failed a lot of players, in my opinion, because Flawless. It wasn't that long ago that we got like a psychiatrist to help with players' mental health when Ralph came in. You know, our players been getting abused left, right, and centre. Manchester United didn't give a shit about it until Ralph came in. So I reckon they probably failed him a long time ago. We knew Mason wasn't normal. He was moving mad from when he was young. Like, we've seen clips of it, So that's why it doesn't really surprise me for what I've seen of him and what's come out. I've always thought he was a bit of a weird character, you know, Why don't Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard and Sancho hang out with him? Why is he always taking pictures of him on his own and all that kind of stuff? Like, it's a bit weird, isn't it? You know, like none of the ManDem really talk to him and all that kind of stuff. There was sign there that didn't make sense. Saw him whining on some next guy in the change room and all that kind of stuff.
Wait, what?
I saw a video of him whining on some next you in the change room when he was in the academy. I saw that video, bro, circulate, bro. People were posting it up. That was, you didn't see it.
Carry on.
It was like 2 seasons ago when he first came out, bro. I thought that was a bit
just
weird.
Carry on, fam. Carry on.
I'm gonna carry on. So like before,
I don't heard that, yo. That's
these young bucks, man. They just need help, innit? Like I won't say like I hope he doesn't play football again. I hope he amounts to something, because if we don't give him the right help, he'll just get worse and become a worse human being at the end of the day. You know, like for example, criminals need rehabilitation, innit?
I agree with that.
And need mentoring to be in the right state, but to not go back to what they used to do, you know. And the correctional facilities no longer do that. You go to prison, you come out worse, you can't get a job, you can't get anything, all of the next other stuff, and you go back to what you know best, committing crime. How are we helping that person out if we're just excluding them from society? So like again before, and the only reason why I talk like this because I am a Christian man at the end of the day. I'm a fellow worshiper. I practice my religion as a Christian, so I always believe in second chances. But at the same time, if it was my sister, best believe I won't be on the stream. I'll be behind closed, behind bars. So, like, you know what I'm saying, Flawless?
And that is the main point in regards to this. Is everyone backing this because he's a talented footballer? If that's your sister, your mom, female cousin, your girl, close female brethren, whoever, you are going jail.
You're screaming free Ivorian Spice. You didn't do nothing. That's what you'll be screaming, bro.
I'd be in jail with you because I'm running through. And I'm not even aggressive like that, people. I'm not aggressive. I'm not no gangster. I'm not no bad man. None of that. But that, if, God forbid, a touch would it never happen, someone does that to somebody who is a female who is close to me, I am going to jail. No more Sarcasm City, people. I'll be doing this if they let me from a prison cell. On my life. You know what I'm saying? I even planning on getting away like 100%. Like you had like, I don't tolerate that. And then people always try and flip it and go, well, what if Greenwood was your brother or your da-da-da? I would not talk to him.
No,
I would disown him.
You won't tolerate that shit.
And I flip this on his head again, people. I have family members who I don't talk to for less. I've got family members I don't fuck with, and it's nothing like that as in regards to why nothing is serious, nothing is as crazy as that, as in terms of serious as that situation. You gotta be able to cut people off, but hey, we move. And Jesse, that's a wild comment. Pause.
Well, I don't know what Jesse said.
2 questions in. You're talking about you with what you said about Greenwood in the changing room.
Yeah.
I think so.
No. But you guys not seen that video? It's like a lot of people saw it though, but I don't know. I can't believe you saw it. You never saw that. That was
I didn't, thankfully.
You
know what I'm saying?
But yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm happy though they made that decision, and we can all rest. But we need to move on from that. It happened. Because what I hate is the fact that it's still circulating. Man United fans are still talking about it. Like, listen, we need to move on and let the distractions. Get rid of the distractions. We need to focus on the main situation about the fact that we lost against Tottenham. You know, big up wide Jess as well. I'm very sure he's probably happy with that result.
Jess is my guy. Shout out Jess. Yeah, Jess is over the moon. Yo, he's mad happy. I've never seen this guy this happy. This guy's had Conte and Mourinho. This guy can't believe his luck as a Spurs.
Yeah. I know how that feels, having 2 defensive midfielders, part of the bus manager for a good 6 years in that. We know how that feels, man.
Yeah, facts. Hey, anything you want to add before we do indeed close out, fam?
No.
This from Warrior J before we carry on. United must bid for Amrabat by Friday or you'll stay at Fiorentina. That's from at Core Sport. Hey man, we definitely need to deal with that situation. But before we move, Forest, man, what team would you pick if you could? So what's your 11 against Forest? And what team
I could pick?
Yeah,
I should pick
it. Yeah.
Okay, not what Ten Hag wants to pick. Yeah.
No, what you would pick.
No more. Onana in goal. You know what? Yeah, I remember Saka's been impressing me. Yeah, I wouldn't go with Dalot just yet. And we got obviously the usual Lisandro and Varane, and of course
So you got Onana in goal. Who did you say? Wan-Bissaka right back, and then
Wan-Bissaka right back. You know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna go with just Luke Shaw thing. Yeah, but let's try. We got Dalot. Let's try Dalot as a left back here for once, innit? Because I want to see that. I want to see how that's like. But we've seen it before, but I want to see a bit more. In midfield, Casemiro. Bloody hell. Christian Eriksen and whatever it is in the other position. I'm not going to tell
Bruno
you.
or Mount. Pick one.
Non-applicable. Can I do a non-applicable question mark? Roll the dice.
Hey, you can go McTominay, Casemiro, Eriksen.
No. You know I will never go McTominay, Casemiro.
All right. I'll pick Bruno. I put Bruno there for you. All right,
Bruno there for me. My front three. Shit, man. It gets bad, you know. Sancho. Let's play Sancho. With Marcus Rashford. Yeah.
Sancho false 9. Rashford from the left and you from the right.
It's very difficult because I don't rate Anthony. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna have to go with Anthony for the time being until someone is fit. Someone is fit, like a Diallo. Let's try Diallo or a Facundo Pellistri. But even though I still feel like Facundo Pellistri is not ready yet and still needs some time, but still we're gonna have to go with Anthony, even though I don't believe in him.
All right. So Anthony, that's pretty much my team. Your team is my team. I've said that. I would go Onana in goal, Wan-Bissaka below as the fullbacks, Varane, Martinez, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Anthony from the right, Rashford from the left, Sancho up top. That's what I would do. What do I think he does? What do I think Ten Hag does? I don't know, because I never thought he would pick the same team against.
You'll pick the same team.
And he can't pick the same team. He can't pick the same team.
You
know what's crazy is I can see him doing it now. And that's a big mistake. Scoreline prediction though.
We're playing at home at Old Trafford. Let's go.
Yeah, it's
a 2-0 win this time against Nottingham Forest. 2-0.
Okay. Don't forget, people, as well, all the shows on the channel are available on audio-only platforms, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV, and all the shows on the channel here on the YouTube, and also on the Twitch, I should say, both on the YouTube and Twitch will pop up. So if you want to listen while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, while you're driving, while you're at work, you may be on your way to work, you may be traveling, you might be in the gym, whatever the case may be, people, feel free to listen on audio-only platforms. Like I said, SoundCloud, Hills with a follow on there, Spotify, all you Android users, everyone listening to music on there, please go over to the Sarcasm City TV Spotify, 5-star us on there and Hills with a follow. iTunes as well, all you iPhone users, make sure you do the same as well, because some people might just not want to have the YouTube app open, so that's fine. Shikar says, please, Pellistri gets a start. I hope I'm tired of this Anthony fellow. Fairs if Pellistri does, but Ivorian, you're right. I can see him going with the same 11. Oh, for fuck's sake. I can see that. It's a bad mistake if he goes with that. It's a bad mistake. But scoreline as well. What's your scoreline prediction?
I did tell you 2-0. I told you 2-0.
You said,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, love to everyone who has locked in. We're back tonight for the Manchester United Liverpool show. That's at midnight UK time. All the shows that I mentioned are all on the upcoming live stream schedule on the YouTube and on the Twitch as well. Who's live to even raid? No one's even live to raid, so you know what? I'll just send you lot to the Manchester United Liverpool show. Make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel, Red United TV. The link is in the title, people. Link is in the title. And hopefully by the time we talk next week when we do the show, we're coming off a win. A win and a good performance. That's what I'm hoping, so it is Forest. But anyways, love to everyone that's locked in. Big up to everyone in the chat. You lot are real ones. Make sure you hit the like button, whether you're watching this now or watching this back. Hit the subscribe button. Big up to everyone listening on all the audio platforms as well. And this has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up.